Hi there, I'm Mistal Godlewski, an American girl who called the cornfields of Illinois home until over 10 years ago when I started navigating the chaos of life overseas. If you've ever felt that itch for something more, that whisper telling you to break free from the ordinary, you're in the right place. This podcast is your backstage pass to the wild ride of moving abroad. I'm here to pull back the curtain on the real journey, sharing stories that are funny, dramatic, and sometimes downright unbelievable. We'll explore the gritty details, from battling culture shock and navigating tricky visa processes to celebrating those small victories that make it all worth it. So whether you're daydreaming about a new life abroad or already in the thick of it, grab your passport and let's explore what it really means to live life beyond borders. Welcome to A Broadly Speaking. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the A Broadly Speaking podcast. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Mistal. This is the podcast where we ditch the Pinterest boards, smash the Instagram fantasies, and talk about what moving abroad actually takes. I'm Mistal, and today we're diving into a topic that might sting a little. And I am sorry to tell you, but your dream destination might not be your best move. Because here's the thing, the dream you've been building in your head might be gorgeous, but that doesn't mean that it should be the one you actually pack up your life for. I know that's basically sacrilegious if you're in the follow your dreams world, but I'm not here to sell you the fantasy. I'm here to make sure that you don't uproot your entire life for a version of the dream that leaves you broke, burnt out, or booking a ticket back home 6 months later. Because let's face it, that's what often happens to people. So let's get real. We all have this place in our heads. Maybe it's Paris with the cobblestone streets and wine and little cafes where you get to write your name in a journal while someone plays the accordion nearby. Or maybe it's Bali with endless beaches, smoothie bowls, and yoga on a cliff sunrise. Or maybe it's Tokyo with neon lights and ramen on every corner and sushi that is so fresh it's still swimming and a bullet train to literally anywhere. And I get it. You've been looking at pictures, watching movies, maybe even visiting once or twice, and you've convinced yourself, this, this is the place I'm meant to be. The problem? You see the trailer, not the full movie. And the trailer always looks good. The truth is, your dream destination is usually based on curated images, not lived reality. What you've fallen in love with might be one small slice of what's actually like to live there. And if you choose based on only that, you're setting yourself up for some very expensive heartbreak. When we moved to Switzerland the first time, we had no idea what we were doing. It was amazing. It was fun. We found a place that we loved. And we moved to Vienna the second move that we made. My husband and I were like, sweet. We looked at all the pictures. We looked at all the history. We were like, this is going to be amazing. Truth be told, it was awful for us. Why? Because we didn't realize that having a 6-month-old with us made everything more complicated. We didn't realize that me going back to work and finding daycare was going to be next to impossible. We didn't realize that the cost of living there, even though our salary was a little bit less than we were in Switzerland, and cost of living is substantially less in Switzerland, the taxes that we had to pay were exorbitant. So yes, we thought, ooh, this will be the perfect place to land. It's still German speaking. It's going to be beautiful. There's a whole history. It's lovely during the summer. We can get everywhere we want to go. It was not the right place for us. Here's the thing. Living somewhere is not the same as visiting somewhere. When you visit, you're in vacation mode. You're not thinking about paying the bills in a new language. You're not thinking about the price of health insurance or whether your kid's school will accommodate their learning needs or whether you'll be able to find a daycare that fits your kid, right? You're not navigating the grocery store aisles trying to figure out whether or not what milk you just bought, or is it fat-free or is it full fat? Daily life changes how you see a place, and your dream destination might not be built for the life you actually want to live, at least not without stress, compromise, or money. And that can derail your dream so quickly. A lot of people skip this part entirely when choosing where to move. They focus on the city or country, but not the lifestyle they want within it. Think about this. Are you a big city person or a small town person? Do you want nightlife or do you want peace and quiet? Do you want a walkable neighborhood or are you fine driving everywhere? Do you want warm weather year round or actual seasons? If you move to your dream city, but the lifestyle it offered doesn't match your day to day preferences, you're going to feel it fast. And it's not because the city isn't amazing, it's because it's not amazing for you. Your dream destination has to match your real life, not your fantasy life. I have so many people who run up to me and are like, I want to move to London. They speak English there. Little do they realize that London gets no sun, relatively speaking, in a year, right? There's no air conditioning. So when it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit, or I'm sorry, 35 degrees Celsius outside, that's what, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's hot. And there's no air conditioning. So you have to learn to live differently. Your lifestyle factor is a big deal. We spend half the summer in darkness. Why? Because we have to shut all the windows in our house and all the blinds in our house to make sure that the house stays cool because we don't have air conditioning in Switzerland. Or if you want to move to Belgium, for example, Brussels is an absolutely lovely city. There are all kinds of traffic all day long. It's impossible to get around. It's a beautiful city, but it rains 300 days a year. Oh my gosh, if I have to deal with rain 300 days a year, I'm going to be depressed. The lifestyle factor is important. Okay. It's not as simple as I want, sunny beaches in Bali. At some point, you're going to want to not be hot, right? Maybe if you're anything like me. My husband wants to be able to run marathons, right? So we need a place where it's safe for him to run because that's important to us. There's little things like that when you're factoring in the perfect place, it may not be perfect in your lifestyle. It may be perfect for a vacation, but may not be perfect in your lifestyle. Then there's the money factor. Let's talk about budgets because this is where a lot of dream destinations start falling apart. Your Pinterest perfect city might be one of the most expensive places on the planet. That doesn't mean you can't live there, but it does mean you might not live the version of the life you've been picturing. And here's the part that most people forget. It's not just about the rent. It's about the cost of groceries, transportation, healthcare, utilities, childcare, and the random things that come up, like needing to replace your entire wardrobe because the climate is different. If your dream destination requires you to spend 80% of your income just to exist, you're not going to have the financial freedom to enjoy it. You'll be stressed, constantly calculating, and possibly resenting the place that you worked so hard to get to because it's exactly like the place that you left. You're working to live, not living to work, right? So really consider that it's not just rent. Just because you can get rent for 800 bucks a month in Bali, I don't know if that's true or not, but think about it like that. Doesn't mean that because it's an island somewhere, you're going to be paying exorbitant grocery prices, right? So all of those things start to add up that you need to consider when you're making your final decision about where to land. I know the next part is very unsexy, but the truth is visa requirements are a pain in the butt. I was about to use a bad word, but I'll be nice today. But you know what's even less sexy? Getting kicked out of your dream country because you didn't qualify for the right visa or you couldn't renew it. Not every country makes it easy to move there. Your dream destination might have a visa system that's incredibly competitive, expensive, or flat out inaccessible unless you have certain jobs, degrees, or amount of money in the bank, for example. If your dream place isn't actually a legal option for you right now, you either need to rework your plan or consider another destination that gets you closer to your long term goal, even if it's not the exact place you pictured right now. Okay. So consider maybe you have to make one move first and then you can make another move later. That's sort of what we did originally, thinking we would move to Vienna and enjoy it. We were wrong. Vienna is a beautiful city. I have nothing against it. It's a great place to vacation. I would not live there again. But we moved to Vienna and then we realized we really belong in Switzerland. This is the right place for us. And so when we moved back to Switzerland, we moved to a different part because we knew we wanted something slightly different. but we could afford to change our minds, right? We could afford, because we left, because we saw what we saw, we were able to come back and know what we were missing. The lifestyle factor, we could get the visas because of our jobs and things, but the lifestyle factor came into play. We knew how much we needed to earn on the money factor because we'd lived here before. Rent is slightly different actually in central Switzerland where we live now versus in Basel where we lived before. So that helped us. But there are definitely factors in all of that. Let's just think for 1 minute, though, too, that you move to a place where you don't speak the language. If you're moving anywhere that isn't mainly English speaking, and if you're English speaking like me, English isn't always widely used everywhere you go. That's fine if you're ready to dive into language learning, but what if you're not? What if your work depends on you communicating at a high level right away? What if just trying to navigate the doctor's office or fill out government paperwork without losing your mind is part of the deal? If you pick a dream destination where you can't integrate, whether that's socially, linguistically, or culturally, you risk feeling isolated. And isolation is the fastest way to make a place you love feel like a place you want to leave. We were fortunate. I did not speak German when we moved here, but I pick up languages relatively quickly. So within our first few years, within 5 years of living in German speaking regions, I'm fully fluent in German. That being said, if you ask me to write an email tomorrow in German, I'm going to take a long time to make sure that it's right, right? If I had to communicate exclusively in German at work, that would be a challenge for me. It would be a big challenge for me if I had to write emails every day in German. Would I get it? Yes. Would they be grammatically correct? Absolutely not. But they work, right? But that took me, before I could speak freely in German, it took about 3.5 years before I was confident enough to speak freely. And I was taking lessons most of the time. It's really important that you acknowledge that the language may be different than the language that you speak. And if you're not someone who picks up languages easily, it may take you a while to get comfortable. I am in no way abdicating the need to learn the language. You absolutely must learn the Longo language if you want to integrate and if you want to be part of the culture that you're at. But what I'm saying is for some people, it might take longer than others. And if you can't integrate quickly, if you're someone who's very social and needs friends and needs people around and you want to be local, then you're going to get stuck if you can't learn the language or if you're unwilling to learn the language. The part that nobody wants to think about when they move abroad and they're still romanticizing mode is the long game. If you're planning on staying for more than a few months, ask yourself these questions. Do I see myself here 5 years from now? Does this country's long-term residency or citizenship path make sense for me? Could this be a stepping stone to somewhere else I want to be? If your dream destination is perfect for a year, but impossible for the long term, you have to be okay with that. If you're not, then you might want to aim for a place that works for both the dream and the future and balance those things together. Moving abroad isn't just about a change in location. It's about a change in who you are in that location. Your dream place might fit the version of you that's on vacation there, but will it fit the version of you that's working, making friends, paying taxes, navigating daily challenges, and building a life? Sometimes the perfect place doesn't fit the person you actually are or the person you want to become. Here's the truth. I'm not telling you to give up your dream destination. I would never do that. I am telling you to look at it from every angle before you commit to it. Make sure the fantasy matches the reality, that the lifestyle works for you, that the budget is sustainable, that the visa is possible, and that you can actually integrate into the culture. If all that checks out, amazing. Pack your bags, head off to the plane. If not, then maybe your best move is somewhere else entirely, at least for now. Your move abroad does not have to be your forever move. I am living proof of that. Sometimes the smartest strategy is to move somewhere that's easier to access, more affordable, or better aligned with your immediate needs, and then use that as a launch pad to get your dream destination later. That's not failure. This is smart, intentional, strategic living because the goal isn't just to get there, it's to thrive there and potentially, if you're anything like me, to stay there. So if you're in love with your dream destination, I get it. Keep that dream alive. But before you drop everything to chase it, make sure it's not the place you just want to visit. Make sure it's the place you want to actually live. And if you realize it's not, that's not giving up on the dream, that's protecting it. Because sometimes the path to your dream is a little less direct than Instagram captions make it seem. All right, that's it for today's episode of Broadly Speaking. If you're planning your move abroad and want a reality check before you commit, check out my Reach mini courses. They'll give you the clarity you need without the overwhelm. I'll drop the link in the show notes. Until next time, plan smart, dream big, and remember, your move abroad should be built for you, not just for your move board. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Broadly Speaking. If today's episode got you dreaming a little bigger or thinking a little braver, go ahead and hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's ready for their own adventure. And hey, don't be a stranger. Come hang out with me over on Instagram at @IamMestelle for the real, unfiltered life abroad. Keep that passport handy, and remember, life's too short to stay in one place.